Hi, I'm Alan Menard, Regional Chef for the Mountain West region. Today we're at Test Kitchen at Holiday Retirement Home Office, and I'd like to show you some basic cookie making techniques. How many times have you been asked for cookies for a last-minute cookie drop? Have you put chocolate chip cookies on your snack bar for 97 days in a row now? What worked for me as a community chef was to make what I call a cookie base, so that I could provide a variety of cookies and I wasn't having to make cookie dough every single day. Recipe 2797 is a chocolate chip cookie recipe. I recommend making this recipe times 6 and omit the chocolate chips and walnuts. Virtually all cookies are made using the creaming mixing method. This method is as follows. First, we're going to cream together the fat and the sugar, including brown sugar in this particular case. We're also going to then add our eggs and some vanilla or some other flavoring ingredient. And at the very last, we will stir in dry ingredients. That's the creaming mixing method. We cream the fat and the sugar together. That means to beat the fat, which in this case is butter and shortening, and the sugar together until it's light, fluffy, and creamy. At this point, we have a nice, light, fluffy mixture between the butter and the sugar. So now we're going to add our eggs to the mixture and smooth it out. Okay, the eggs are incorporated. Now we're ready to add our dry ingredients. A couple things to note. We're only going to mix until the ingredients are just incorporated. That's because if we mix more, now we're going to develop gluten in the flour and our cookies are going to turn out chewy. That's it. All right, here's our completed cookie dough. This is a cookie base now, remember. What we're going to do is we're going to pull out enough cookie dough to make a batch of say 3 dozen cookies, add our ingredients to it, and then we'll bake off those cookies. Custom-made cookies every day. But before we make our first batch of cookie, we need to chill this dough. Because if we don't, if we start out with room temperature cookie dough, cookies when they bake are going to spread too much and the fat is going to melt out of them. We're going to have some greasy cookies. So we're going to chill this first. We're going to chill this by transferring this to a Cambro. Alright, we have our chilled cookie dough, cookie base sitting in front of us. And the CSL walks in and wants 3 dozen cookies and wants them in 10 minutes. We can still make this happen. What we're going to do with our cookie base is we're going to take out enough to make whatever amount of cookies that we need to make, and then we're going to choose some ingredients and make a custom-made cookie for our CSL, who's having a panic attack right now. Basically, to make 3 dozen cookies, we're going to need about 1/4 of this batter. We're just going to spoon it into the mixing bowl of our KitchenAid mixer. And then we're going to customize this cookie. To customize this cookie, we're going to add chocolate chips and walnuts, oatmeal and raisin, oatmeal and craisins by themselves, white chocolate chips. The possibilities are endless, but you have this cookie base sitting here right now. So, to do this, we need about 2 cups worth of ingredients. If you're going to put oatmeal in the cookie, remember it's going to dry it out just a little bit, so maybe only use about 1/2 cup into a quart of batter. What I've chosen is, number 1, we have a little bit of Irish cream coffee syrup. So we're going to put that in for a little bit of flavoring. And we also have about 2 cups of some mint flavored chocolate chips. So I think that's going to make a decent cookie. Throw that in. Just going to get that well incorporated. But remember, if we mix it too long, we're going to start busting up the chocolate chips, and we don't want that. We want those nice chunks of chocolates. All right, so we have some nice cookie dough here. Now we're going to pan it up and bake it. All right, first thing that we're going to do, we are going to use a number 40 scoop. And as I'm well known for, we're going to do a little useless trivia here. How many of you know what the number 40 means on this scoop? The number 40 means this is the number of scoops in 1 quart. So if you have a number 32 scoop, you have a 1 ounce scoop. All right? Told you it was useless. All right, so basically all we're going to do is we're going to do a scoop. Let's put the cookie on a parchment-lined sheet pan. Do not crowd these cookies. If we make this like even 3 by 5, that's probably about enough here. Maybe even 3 by 4. If we don't, remember, cookies spread when they heat up. So if we crowd them too much, if we put 4 across in a row, we're going to have all the cookies grow together. You're going to have 3 by 4 on the cookies. You can flatten these out a little bit if you want to, but typically the oven will take care of that. We're going to put it in at a relatively high temperature, 375. We're going to bake for 8 to 9 minutes. Couple things again about oven timing. Okay, if the recipe says 8 to 9 minutes, I'm going to set my timer for about 6 minutes, and I'm going to cook the cookie. Or I'm going to check the cookie after that timer goes off. Why? Because number one, I'm not used to these ovens here. And until I do get used to them, I don't know how long to cook these cookies for. Each oven's different. Each oven's got its own hot spots. So please, under time for the first few times when you're making cookies. What you're looking for when you cook these cookies is golden brown around the outside edges, and it still looks a little bit raw in the middle. That's the time to pull them out of the oven. If you pull them out after they've completely turned golden brown on top, you're going to have a nice hard cookie. Don't want that. All right? So let's pop these in the oven and see what we get. Okay, it took 7 minutes to cook these cookies. They're ready to come out of the oven right now. Now if you'll take a look at them, nice golden brown around the edges, kind of looks a little bit underdone in the middle. This is exactly what you want. This is perfect. All right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to let these sit for about 5 minutes. Once they cool off a little bit, we'll be able to move them onto a plate or do whatever we need to right there. Okay? I hope I've given you some good ideas here to make your cooking baking easier and less time consuming. Everybody loves a good cookie, and our residents deserve the best. Happy baking.